Lady Liberty, a short story. Monday. Monday, I'm in big trouble. I forgot to do the social studies project last weekend. In my defense, I did have a very unusual weekend. My stepdad Zeke unexpectedly picked me up from school last Friday because he got free tickets to the Dodgers game. Then, since the game got over late, we decided to stay at my grandma's house because she lives sort of by the stadium. In the morning, she asked if we could paint her garage. Of course we did, but it took all day. On Sunday, I'm sorry to report, I devoted my entire day watching my favorite episodes of Voltron. Not sure why I didn't think of the project. I guess the neurons in my brain weren't firing correctly or something. Tuesday. Well, despite some challenges last night, I somehow managed to finish my project. On the bus home, I decided what I would do. I would make a model of the Statue of Liberty. That couldn't be so hard. So I thought. When I got home, my mom had to run to help the neighbor, so I was in charge of Nicholas. He's two, and he's a terror. I got out the modeling clay and gave him a hunk to keep him busy. Well, he decided to eat it, and after I pulled it out from his mouth, he started to cry and wouldn't stop. At first, I gave him his blanket. That didn't work. Then I made a tower of blocks for him to knock over. He wasn't having that either. Finally, I put on some music and I started to dance. And that worked. He started dancing too. By then, my mom had returned, so I got back to sculpting. My first attempt was an utter failure. My Lady Liberty looked like a standing hippopotamus wearing a wreath on her head. My second attempt was a bit better, but still wasn't quite right. The lady's robe looked glued to her body, and her tiny head was totally out of proportion with her large figure. It's not so bad, said Zeke, examining it closely when he saw my frown. It's a bowling pin, right? I tried to remain calm, but I was totally frustrated. I spent all that time, and Zeke thought my statue was a bowling pin? I gritted my teeth as I forced a smile. No, not exactly, but it's not quite done yet. I grabbed the sculpture and headed to my room. I was determined to make Lady Liberty recognizable. I decided to watch a video on how to make realistic faces in clay. It was helpful. Although it took me a while, I finally made some improvements to my work of art. When I asked my mom if she could tell what it was, she answered, Of course, Liam. Anyone can see that's Elsa from Frozen. I looked at the clock. It was 9 o'clock. Elsa is pretty close to Lady Liberty. Way closer than a hippo or a bowling pin, anyways. I had tried my best and I was exhausted. I just had to hope my social studies teacher had a more artistic eye. Thankfully, Mr. Sorensen immediately recognized my work. Well done, he said, patting me on the shoulder. That's the closest likeness I have seen of the Statue of Liberty in a long time, Liam.